How to heal from toxic African parents. Yeah. Now this is the one that pops up a lot, and it's often due to the way that one's people are raised, should I say? You know. So strict parents, a lot of rules. You know, do this, don't do that, da 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 da. And it's like you don't get to really express yourself in authentic ways because of it. And you grow up later on in life, and it's like all of these things are still left of you. You feel trapped. You feel like you can't articulate yourself in certain situations. You feel like the job role that you're even doing at this moment, or that you were told to do, yeah, it's not of your choosing. So it's like almost everything that you've done that you have not selected. And it's also like you've been put down at certain times. You've been maybe even in some situations called certain names. So it's like you don't feel connected to yourself as well as you should, you know? So with this experience, the next thing is that how do you then transition from that place and then feel connected to who you are, you know? And I've experienced this as well. So for me, like, my perspective on it is very different. At the same time, what I want to do in this is meet you where I believe that you are and show you like how you can transition and change perspective. And by changing perspective, everything's going to change. You know, you're going to heal, you're going to feel better. Like, at the same time, recognize that it is a process. Yeah. So let's get into this. What's going on? My name is Christopher Daniels, and I'd like to welcome you to the Don't Stress, Don't Panic family. We are active. If you're new here, welcome to you. If you're back, welcome back. You know how it goes already. Me said it first. But let's do this. And literally, yeah, so we're talking about toxic African parents, yeah? And the reason I want to bring this up again and just go into it is because I feel like, again, there's a lot of people out there, and as grown into adults and cool, we get to a place where there's so much like resent there. Like, why was I raised like this? Why did they communicate with me like that? Why were they so strict, and why were they so harsh? And so many things, like the household was so like, things were rigid in there. I'm not able to express myself. If I try to do this, then so many things, so many unanswered questions, like, and the one thing that has just helped me, again, like, just changing perspective, you know? Because although, like, you can say, cool, don't excuse them, this, that, you got to really look at, like, where it all came from first and foremost. And then when you look at where it came from, you begin to understand it more. And you got to recognize a lot of the stuff that has happened within our space is stuff that happened within their space first and foremost. So how they have treated or raised us may be similar, or there's elements of how they've been raised within that, you know? So it doesn't necessarily make it difficult to understand why, you know? So first and foremost, the question is why. And oftentimes the reason why is because that's what they know from what they've experienced, you feel what I'm saying to you? So because they've experienced that, they then put that onto us, you know what I'm saying to you? So that's literally what happens more times out of 10. And with that, I know, of course, like, say for example, like, decisions that you wanted to make when you were younger, it would have been hard to do so. You wanted to go to this place, so you said, no, you can't go this place. You wanted to go out and play in a certain area, so no, you can't go out and play there. You wanted to go study a certain course, you was told no. You wanted a certain job career, so nah, you know. And again, I'm not talking, all of these things didn't happen to me. Some of them, like going outside at certain times, myth, you feel what I'm saying to you? At the same time, again, like I'm saying, you understand where it's coming from, and then you, like, if you talk to your parents, I'm telling you now, they'll tell you a lot about what they've experienced, what they've gone through, how it's been for them. And more times out of 10, it's been a lot harder for them than it was for us, you know? A lot harder in terms of like how they were raised, a lot stricter, things that they couldn't do, things that they could do, you know, or they couldn't do. Like, there would have been so many more restrictions, but at the same time, I'm not to say that, yo, we're not feeling it, like, we felt it, so, you feel me? I can't excuse that. At the same time, I can understand it, you feel? So with that, like, what is it that you can do to begin, like, the healing process, or to actually, is understand the perspective, and then let go. You know, let go of all of these thoughts that you're thinking about how they should have, or what they should have, or what could have, you know? Like, if you keep holding on, I didn't get to do this because I wanted this career path, but this didn't happen because, like, all of these thoughts that you have, you know? If you are holding on to all of those, like, you're gonna stop your growth, and you're gonna be having like some sort of, again, like resentment or some sort of frustration, or be angry towards them. And it's not even about that. It's about, all right, cool, understand, this is what's happened. This was the situation. And because of that, I am here right now, you feel? Understand where you're here, where you are, acknowledge that. And from that, that's where you begin to process things. Okay, I am here right now. What can I do from this position that I'm in right now? That's the question that you got to ask yourself. What can you do from the position that you're in right now, you know? And for me, like personally, when it came to like me processing and think about like things that kind of like threw me off, like one thing would be like expressing, like it was difficult to say certain things, like to communicate. If there was something that was like, it's difficult to say, this is what's happening, you know? And how did that affect me in later life? Again, like I'll go into spaces and it'll be difficult to even speak up to say what's on my mind. I just let things run, I let things slide, you know, because that's just how it was. Like I wouldn't question like authoritative figures or people of authority. I wouldn't question them because I'm used to not questioning. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's something that did happen. At the same time, it's like, cool, how do I switch that? And that's what happens next. That's like the main thing, or that's like the next big thing that in terms of this process is being able to understand that you've now got to get to a place where you can start doing things completely differently, you know? Process information differently and maneuver different, yeah? When I say maneuver different, it's like taking all that stuff that's happened to you, like again, once you start to let go, you got to start doing things differently, yeah? So for me, like I said, the communication thing is now I got to understand that, hey, in order to make things happen for myself, I need to communicate very differently to how I was communicating like as a child or teenager growing up. I need to communicate very different. So now it's on me to create that change, yeah? So whilst you're healing, like the healing part of it is the letting go. The healing part is the letting go. The healing part is understanding. The healing part is processing what actually happened. And I'm telling you, it's not that deep. Like, obviously, you could say like the things that happened, the actions that happened, yeah, they could be deep. Like there could be situations where, again, you wanted something and you weren't able to get it, and then what happened because of that situation there is like, it's wild, like, you know? Like you might have like been hungry or something, you wanted to ask for money, you didn't want to ask because you probably would have been told no because you spent your money too quickly or whatever situation it was. Like they gave you money, spent it or this or that. Like so you didn't ask, you know? Something like that. And you may have had an experience because of that. Say that's the experience, yeah? It's not necessarily focusing on whatever you experience, but it's understanding the way that they are in general. So you understand that they are somebody that doesn't like for you to communicate with them about certain things, yeah? So you take that and you understand that and you let that resonate, that marinate, you let that just chill, you let that just settle into your mind, you know, understand it, process that, what actually happened. It's not about the situation that happened, it's about why the situation happened. And the situation happens because of their way of being. And you can't ever change that, you just need to understand it. Even if you don't understand it, you just need to know that that's what it is and don't even try to understand it. Just let it be, yeah? Once you begin to let things be, they're no longer going to have a hold on you, you know? Just say, cool, this person's like this, that's what it is, you know? And stop making it about you as well. That's another key thing. Sometimes we think that the situations happen to us because of us. It's not even because of us. It's because of the way that the person is, you know? The way that the way that our parents are, like, or your parents are, or the way that African parents are, generalize it, you know? That's why these things happen. You get what I'm saying to you? So it's not because of you. And once you take that away from you, it gives you back your power, yeah? And yeah, the main thing here is being able to, when you are healing and you are processing all this information and you are understanding what happened, is next that is to step into who you want to be, how you want to maneuver in this world, how do you want to move around this world, who do you want to be in this world, and that's the next question, you know? Cool, maybe you were told that you can't be this or you can't do this or da. And now it's for you to start making decisions that what is it that you do want to do and start stepping into that. Because if you don't step into that, that's on you. Like, you can't blame anyone. And now we're at a point where like the healing or the recovery or leveling up, like, it's on you. It's not on anyone else. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to help you in this situation like that. So it's on you to make these decisions. And once you make these decisions, you need to step out and execute, because no one, again, is coming to help you to execute on what you want to do. So that's literally the main thing. You got to recognize it comes down first. You got to obviously, you got to understand, you got to forgive, like, you got to let go of anything that you're holding on to. And for me, like saying, there's so much that I've learned from this, and recognize a lot. Also, this is another thing. A lot of your gifts and a lot of your potential, a lot of your ability to grow is trapped within that right there. All of these pressures all of these things that you're thinking about. Once you start letting go, you're gonna start opening up and being able to access, like, your true capabilities, you know. And because you're thinking about things in a certain way, it's stopping your growth. But once you let go of that, I'm telling you, you're gonna have access. It's almost like these things are trapping, like, your way of thinking. But you let go and things begin to change. And that's what it comes down to. Is as simple as that, you know? Simple. Get me? Just keep it simple. Don't stress, don't panic. Keep it simple, yeah? If you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the future videos. Other than that, I will be seeing you again shortly, yeah? Blessings.